We have got news of a major double play happening over at Madison Square Garden. They don't play baseball inside. They can't really do a double play, a business double play. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the Dolan family, which controls Madison Square Garden Company, is thinking about, in fact, they've actually said they'd like to do it in 2015, splitting the company in two. On one half, you'd have the sports teams at Madison Square Garden and the entertainment business, the concerts, the Rockettes, which I know you like a lot.
Love them.
And on the other half, you'd have the regional sports networks.
Yeah, I tried out once for the Rockettes. Didn't make it. What would the valuation be of this?
Well, right now, the valuation is $6 billion for the whole company. But I actually think if you start to look at it in pieces, it could exceed $7.5 billion. You know, I'm thinking if you look at the media companies, they're probably worth $4 billion. Mm-hmm. But I think the lesser-known valuation is in the sports and entertainment side. Let me ask you a question. How much money do you think the Rockettes make with the winter show they put on every year?
$10 million?
Would you believe between 30 and 40 million?
Really?
Yeah, I'll give you another little hidden gem here. The air rights above Madison Square Garden, where you could put up more office space, they're telling me those are worth $300 million. The upshot is when you add all that together with the Rangers and the Knicks, you're talking about another $3.5 to $4 billion. So you're talking about a company right now that's being valued by Wall Street at $6 billion that could be worth between $7.5 to $8 billion.
See, that's why you watch the show, for those little hidden gems like that. And I think of that, again, the Ballmer effect, right? $2 billion check for the LA Clippers. Then what would the Knicks be worth, right?
You know, it's interesting because right now, you know, because they're all under the same parent company, of course, the Knicks are only getting about $40 million in rights fees from MSG. Well, you know, you have to think if this split happens, right, and you're a new owner and you're going in with these shares, and you're doing a new TV deal, you're looking at the Lakers, their new deal averages $180 million a year. You got to be thinking you got to get at least that much if you're the Knicks.
All right, so who might buy into this?
You're talking about, I imagine Fox would be interested, right? They're big with regional sports networks. Perhaps Comcast, once their deal with Time Warner Cable clears their regulatory hurdles, they would certainly like these attractive properties. Madison Square Garden Network, I think, gets a little less than $4 per month per subscriber from the carriers, which is well above average. So it shows you that the programming carries a premium.
Michael, to unlock this value, what's going to be the catalyst?
Well, the Dolan family owns 70% of Madison Square Garden Company, Bob. And I think if you want to in on this deal and you want to enjoy this value, I think you have to believe that the Dolan family is going to sell one of these properties once it goes in. And what my understanding is they really don't want to be owners of the regional sports networks, that they would sell that, and that they just want to own and control the sports teams in Madison Square Garden and the entertainment business. And at that point, you have to say, well, what's going to change with the Knicks, right? If he owns that? Well, you know what? The value right now includes a team just set a record for most losses of any Knicks team in one season. So it can only go up from there.
Right.
So if the performance improves and they get into the playoffs, your revenue is going to go up and your profits are going to go up. So you're sort of buying in at a low.
But if I'm an investor and I go into the sports team side of things, I want to probably have a say in what they're doing with the Knicks. I want a better team, right? Right.
Hey, look, if you buy the shares of this company right now, pre-split, you're still going to be depending on James Dolan running the Knicks. I don't think he's going to sell that. I think the only thing that he's likely to sell are the regional sports networks.
How much of the success of the Rangers would have an impact on this split?
And that's the good news, right? The Rangers are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They went to the finals last year. But I think if you're trying to do some math, you got to figure that each round of the playoffs, assuming it goes just 4 games, can add anywhere between $7 to $8 million to the team's bottom line. So you have a good team there. It's going to be very profitable. And if you win the cup, you're also probably going to see ticket prices go up. So the good news is for the enterprise that owns the two teams, the Rangers are excellent right now.
Does it actually help the value of the Rangers as we talk about the value of the Knicks with relation to the LA Clippers?
Yeah,
again,
well,
the Ballmer effect.
I think what you see there is a lot of cross-marketing and cross-selling. So, you know, if you own the teams, you're going out, and when you're selling sponsorships in the arena, you're selling both teams. So it's sort of a hedge. You're saying, look, you come here, you know you've got at least 82 nights where there's going to be either a basketball game or a hockey game going on, how much are you willing to pay for a sponsorship? When we talked about the Staples Center and with the Kings and so forth, and the Lakers playing in the same building, AEG does the same thing there.
So circling back to the beginning, you mentioned a $6 billion valuation, but it could be much higher. Sounds like the Dolans will come out of this okay, whatever they decide to do.
I think they're going to do very well.